I got a confession to make. For the first time in a long time, I got seduced. No, not like that. Well, yeah, I mean, kind of like that. I was at the airport, running on a combination of travel stress, work stress, suboptimal to horrible hotel sleep, and an empty tank of willpower. And as I took a long, strong look at that colorful wall of processed goodness, it made me think of just how much the odds are stacked against us when we travel. So I figured we'd talk about how to stop the seduction in its tracks. At least, if you don't want to be seduced. Yo! What is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftandbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and longevity and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic manner. Today, inspired by my most recent travel experience, we are revisiting my top stay healthy while traveling strategies to avoid being seduced like Odysseus every time you walk through an airport. And you thought the Odyssey was useless after high school, didn't you? Because we all know, on this quest of putting our pretty cool meat suit in a position to operate efficiently, and as minor of a blip in your overall healthy lifestyle as it may be, a pack of combos and train station pizza probably isn't going to make you feel very well. So here are a few of my favorite travel strategies, with a primary focus towards business travel, although they can be used for travel of all kinds. But a lot of people seem to put healthy habits on the back burner for that type of travel. Or they're up at 5 a.m. working out. Either or. What? Okay, you got me. Hey, it's your vacation. Do what you want. So let's get going. First, we start with strategy number 1, your scouting report. I bet you didn't realize that healthy travel starts days before you even leave the house. On the internet machine. A few days, or the night before, I pack any bags or call an Uber. I scout out my destination looking for a few key things. First, a healthy food store, typically something like a Whole Foods. Second, a gym or park, or any area that can be designated the official moving of the badonkadonk zone. And third, any health-related food spots in the area, which seem to be popping up all over the place in most cities. With this scouting report, I now have my first stop planned out to pick up some healthy grub and water and to remove the obstacle of being in a hotel room hungry. And speaking of hotels, I always try to book a hotel that has some sort of a kitchen involved, like a Homewood Suites or Residence Inn, because that gives you so many more options and room to work with, as well as more room for activities.
It's making my head spin how many activities we can do.
To help make owning your health on the road easier. And once the food is taken care of, I move to doing some reconnaissance on the workout spot. This is to ensure that there is no waste of time when it is time to move that badonkadonk. It could be a hotel gym, a local park, the literal city streets. It could even be your hotel room. I've done it all. And I have tons of body weight only workouts that are perfect to take on the road right here. In fact, when I'm in a new city, one of my favorite things to do is to get up and use a morning workout running around it. Kind of like a sightseeing workout. I think they had a movie on that.
Hey, Paul, you okay?
Red Bull. Finally, especially if you're with a group or just don't want to mix something up fast in the room, having that list of a few healthy food spots in the area is super helpful. And you may ask, how do you know that it's healthy? Well, I'll tell you, this is a strategy about scouting, so scout that menu. Beauty of the internet. And with your scouting report done, you are finally ready to actually travel. Here's how I approach that day. Strategy numero dos. Owning your travel day. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that traveling is easy, because it's not. There are a lot of different variables at play on travel day. So I personally try to keep it as simple and consistent as possible. First, I wake up in the morning and complete my morning routine, which you can see here. I do this because it literally hacks my biological wiring and puts me in a good state to own the day. It works for me and my schedule. That doesn't necessarily mean it works for you and your schedule, and that's fine. And one of the cornerstones of my morning routine is working out. So I wake up on travel day and make it happen no matter what. And yes, sometimes that means 3 a.m. burpees in the apartment. And yes, sometimes my neighbors do call the cops on me. That only happened once. And they thought I was getting, killed. But in most cases, it typically doesn't come to that. And I could get up at normal times. I have travel midday, and I get through my morning routine in a very normal, calm, non-confrontational manner. Next, whether you have a long trip, a short trip, or a trip to the metaverse, to avoid the straight up cellular and metabolic vibe killing food options in the travel hubs such as airports, train stations, and bus stations, you're gonna wanna pack some healthy snacks. You can bring pretty much any non-liquid food through airport security. So, meal prep away. Anything is literally better than the low quality yet outrageously expensive options you find at an airport. But I will say, most airports are actually getting better here from a healthy choices standpoint, not a price standpoint. No, but there happen to be a few different approaches here, like the one I take. I personally went from someone who was a big healthy snack packer to someone who didn't eat at all, aka a travel day fast. If you've been around this channel for a while, you know that I am a proponent of intermittent fasting as it pertains to improving cellular and metabolic health. And if you didn't, you could check out the 50 plus videos on the Fasting 101 playlist, and you'll see why. Now, along with the daily time restricted feeding protocol that I follow, I also like to do a 24 plus hour fast once a week. And it just so happens, in my eyes, that travel day is a perfect opportunity to do this. If you end up trying some sort of modified version of this, just remember, it is key to stay hydrated. And if you want to eat when you get to your destination, do it. You make the rules. And be proud that you bypassed one of the most seductive places on earth. Travel hub food courts and convenience stores. Another little tidbit to make your travel day just a little bit better is to aim to add some stretching every hour or so, especially if you have a long journey. This is super helpful not only for blood flow, but for lymphatic stimulation, which is driven by movement. So join me and be that weirdo doing yoga in the corner of the waiting area. Namaste. And once I end up getting to my destination, I start to deploy my plan. Remember that from strategy 1? I take a trip to that pre-scouted food store and load up on healthy options that I would typically eat if I were home. And I will say, it makes it a lot easier if you have that aforementioned kitchen to work in. And this happens to not only be a save some health strategy, but a save some money strategy as well.
Right.
And after that, I go and I get loaded on some sun and fresh air. I know what you were thinking. This one is super important for a number of different reasons, especially if you've traveled some time zones, which we'll talk about right now in strategy number 3, staying on your internal schedule. I know at this point I am saying super important a lot, but this one is super duper important. Yeah, it is so easy to deviate from your good, healthy routine when you're on the road. But in reality, your routine is what can ultimately save you. A well-structured routine helps you deploy your cellular and metabolic longevity boosting habits in the simplest and most efficient way possible, bridging the gap between motivation and discipline, as you recall from this video here. So what do I mean when I say stick to your internal schedule? Well, your bedtime, your wake time, your morning routine and circadian alignment, your feeding and fasting windows, your workout times and duration, your relaxation and meditation, and your sleep hygiene. Whatever it is you do at home to invest in your pretty cool meat suit, try and stay as aligned and in sync as you possibly can while you're on the road, mentally, physically, and emotionally too. And just know this, if you are traveling multiple time zones, adjusting your internal body clock may take a couple of days, and in some cases, even a week. So make the decision, depending on your travel duration, how much you need, or if you want to adjust at all. For example, When I travel from New York to California, a 3-hour time zone change, I will aim to keep operating in New York time for any trips 4 days or less, meaning I get up extra early and go to bed extra early. This translates to minimum disruption of my internal body clock, so I don't have to worry about getting fully adjusted just in time to leave and go back. This also means you may very well be up before the sun and have some extra time to kill in the morning. So getting some movement in is a great way to align your internal body clock. You know, that moving of the badonkadonk thing. Finally, we've made it to strategy number 4. Don't be pressured, be prepared. One of the things that I've experienced many times in my travel ventures is the self-induced and sometimes externally induced pressure to go somewhere, eat something, drink something that you really don't want to. Whether it's going to a questionable restaurant, drinking alcohol, or just staying up late. It's times like these I ask myself 2 things. First, where's the pressure coming from? Am I putting it on myself to fit in? I've noticed that this is actually often the case. Or is there some external source at play? For example, a group of work colleagues. Second, I ask, is this going to promote my well-being or not? You know, that thing that makes you feel good and has you operating efficiently on a consistent basis. And yes, staying out a little later with a group of friends can absolutely 100% be good for your health, as social connections have been seen to be a critical part of health and longevity. The only thing that you want to make sure of is that it is on your terms. Know that every trip is going to be a little different and it's never going to be perfect, but that just means you're kind of doing it right. In my own experience, the majority of the time, this pressure is internally derived. So don't be afraid to tell the group the truth, that you're an early bird, that you don't eat late, whatever, and just run your race. The race you're prepared for. Because at the end of the day, traveling is not easy. And staying healthy while traveling is a momentous task. When you take a look through the lens of evolution, which we so often love to do. It's only been the last 100 years or so where we've mainstreamed the technology that allows us to be literally anywhere in the world within 24 hours. And at no point in human or primate history has our biology been tasked with adjusting between so many time zones so quickly and so frequently. It's just something we're not evolutionarily prepared for. Thus, our cellular and metabolic function is probably not prepared for it either. And when you mix in the oh-so-common excess stress, circadian disalignment, shitty sleep, ultra-processed eating, and other challenges of constantly being on the move, it becomes pretty clear that it's not only a longevity liability, but probably a short-term health liability as well. So if you have to do it on a consistent basis, hopefully these strategies help you do it a little healthier. Oh, and I would love to hear what strategies you guys have, so drop them down in the comments below. As always, if you're looking for a little extra help on your health journey, you can join the weekly longevity challenges in Patreon, where we as a group implement longevity-focused sustainable change week by week, habit by habit, focusing on getting healthy from the inside out. All the links for that will be down in the descriptions below. And when it's all said and done, I think we've really got 2 options here. Switch all business travel to the metaverse, which would bring about its own health challenges, or teleportation, which would allow us to bypass the travel part and just be there. You listening, Elon? But as of now, having a plan, just may be a good idea. Just saying.